What is up, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of the podcast DPX Talks for about an hour. Once again, it is just me, but that's not going to stop me. We're doing another episode, baby. Yeah, we got quite a few things to talk about. Some stuff that is sort of old, but I want to give my thoughts on, like the Red Dead Redemption port controversy, the stuff with Baldur's Gate 3 doing numbers, Barbie doing numbers, the craziness of the Lil Tay incident that's going on, a bunch of other stuff like the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Last Ronin game, the Cenat situation. We'll talk about Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl, but I just want to do some housekeeping first, actually. Starting with the last episode, last month's episode, we're now on Spotify. Let's go! I've been trying to get the show on Spotify for a very long time, and I guess I just didn't know how to get it on Spotify, but I got it on Spotify. The process of which getting it on Spotify is really fucking stupid, but we got it on Spotify. So if you want, go over to Spotify and give me some listens, give me some views, so I can make money. And win-win for everybody. So that's that. We got some small topics today, so there's the whole thing with so James Gunn and Peter Safran are rebooting the DCEU into the DCU. And it seemed like a clean, fresh, clean slate, new actors, new everyone. We're not getting Henry Cavill back as Superman. We're not getting The Rock back as Black Adam. We're not getting Ben Affleck back as Batman. But then all of a sudden, Gal Gadot randomly says, I'm working on Wonder Woman 3 with James Gunn. It's like, what? Because it's sort of like, isn't this supposed to be like a reboot, a fresh reboot of the DCEU? Why are we doing, it seems confusing now. And because why would you, I guess Wonder Woman was more successful than all those, but still, I feel like, why would you do a half reboot? Because then it's just confusing. It's like, is this the new DC? Is this the old DCEU, or is this the new thing? But either way, it was revealed that somebody lied, because they're not doing Wonder Woman 3. And aside from that Paradise Lost show, I think they're planning, there's no Wonder Woman projects even planned for the new DCU. So I don't know what happened. There was a clear miscommunication somewhere. I have no idea how that happened, but yeah, Wonder Woman 3 is not happening under the new DCU. So yeah, I also feel like a lot of people are kind of jumping the gun a little bit. I hear a lot of people saying, this is reactionary, just like how the DCEU was. If that doesn't work, then we'll remove that. Then we'll change that. But instead of just having a hard plan and sticking with that. And to that, I say you guys are kind of jumping the gun a little bit, because it's so fucking hot in here. It's always so hot in here. But you guys are jumping the gun a little bit, because I kind of forgot what I was saying, but we haven't even fucking started. We're not getting Superman Legacy is going to be our first DCU movie, and that's not coming out until I think October 2025. All right, so that's not happening for a while. I understand why everyone's jumping the gun now, saying that they're being reactionary. They're not being reactionary. We don't know that yet. Maybe we will see them and they will be reactionary, but they haven't done anything reactionary yet. So that's what I think. And yeah, that's going to be a bigger topic, but really, I don't know what there is to say about that. So yeah, moving on. Last episode, I talked about the images that came out for Deadpool 3. And I was excited, and then I talked about how the movie's probably going to get pushed because of the actor strike going on. Well, it hasn't really gotten officially delayed yet, but it has been removed from the Disney calendar. So basically, it's been delayed indefinitely. Now, that's disappointing because, like, just fucking get the writers and actors, like, sort this all out. I don't understand, like, why the studios just can't, like, I know there's some things, like, there's some hoops or whatever, but, like, guys, like, do you see, if you guys have the money to delay these movies, like, because that does cost money to delay certain movies, especially the ones that are going to be coming out this year. You know, there's talks of, like, Dune 2 being delayed and the Marvels being delayed into next year. If you guys have the money to delay these movies that are, like, right around the corner, I'm sure you have the money to pay your fucking writers and actors, you know? So I just hope, Deadpool 3, unfortunately, it's very unlikely that it'll make my the release date of my birthday, but yeah, sucks. But I hope I'd rather, you know, everything gets sorted out than me just getting what I want. You know what I mean? And yeah, that's that. We got some old news on Street Fighter 6. The TMNT. So it was announced that Street Fighter and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles are doing a collab. And which is very weird, but it's Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles skins for your custom characters outfits, you know. And I think that's pretty cool. It's very weird crossover, weird pick for a Street Fighter. What is absurd though is the pricing. For these Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles costumes, $15. That's absurd. $15 for So yeah, sorry about that pause. $15 for Ninja Turtle skins. No, thank you. I saw some footage where people were in the Battle Hub, and instead of buying the Ninja Turtle skins, someone just created their own character, their own avatar, to make it look like one of the Ninja Turtles without spending any money, you know. And that just goes to show, like, you know, the character creator in Street Fighter 6 is already, like, really advanced, really, really good. So if you really wanted to, you could just create your character to look like one of the Ninja Turtles. So it's just, why would you price your fucking little costumes? And they're not characters or anything like that, you know. You don't really play as Leonardo or Michelangelo or Donatello or Raphael. You don't, and it's not even like a alternate skin for one of the actual characters. It's an alternate skin for your own custom character in Battle Hub, you know. Why is it $15? That is absurd. So that's just what I think. One more thing I want to talk about is there's this new game that's coming out. I'm looking forward to it. I'm a big wrestling fan, but the wrestling games, I guess, are just, you know, 2K23 I didn't get until recently when I saw it on sale. I wanted to get AEW Fight Forever, but I didn't get it. I'll get it on sale though. But WrestleQuest is this RPG wrestling mix, you know, and that's very interesting. So like I want to see more of these weird, you know, sort of interesting, creative wrestling games, because that, you know, we don't really see wrestling RPGs like this. You know, I'm excited for it, but it was supposed to come out on It was last Tuesday, right? That was the 8th. The day before it came out, the day before it's supposed to come out, it got delayed. Let me repeat that. The day before it was supposed to come out, it got delayed. Now, I don't know if this happens that often, but, like, hello? That's a bad sign. Like, I can't even be coy about it and say, like, you know, that's not a good sign. That's a fucking really bad sign. There's a statement by the developer. I'll get back when I find it. Alright, I found the statement. So it reads, Mega Cat Studios and Skybound Games, which are the developer and publisher of this game, announced today that WrestleQuest will now be launching on October 22nd across all platforms. So, it's supposed to come out this month, and it's still coming out this month. But, yeah, when performing final checks on one of our launch platforms, we discovered it was possible for players to lose their save game progress when playing WrestleQuest on multiple different devices. Because this is a game filled with hours of content and player progress is so important, we could never body slam our fans like that. We are truly proud of this game and believe that we have a product that delivers on all counts. We're blown away by the support we've seen from players excited for WrestleQuest. Thank you all. We'll be seeing you in the ring on August 22nd. Okay, so it's like it's a nice little message, but so basically it got delayed because of a bug that wipes your entire save. And honestly, like, if that's in the game and you know how to, like, remove that, then you remove it. I'm just saying, though, this doesn't happen often. Damn, my voice. This doesn't happen often where a game will get delayed the day before it's supposed to come out. This is like a last second delay. Like, it was just about to come out. So that just has me a little worried. But I hope, because I figured that, like, you do your last checks for the game a bit earlier than that. Like, before the day before it's supposed to come out. Not just right when it's supposed to come out. That's just me. But yeah, I'm still going to play WrestleQuest because it looks like a fun game. But yeah, that is definitely a delay the day before it comes out. Yikes. But yeah, we're going to move on to some of the bigger topics. I remember for the past few weeks, we're going to start with this, alright? I remember for the past, it was been almost months, actually. There have been rumors of a Red Dead Redemption, the first one, remake or remaster, I remember a while back it was rumored that we got the GTA trilogy, 3, Vice City, and San Andreas, and then after that Rockstar were going to do a remaster of GTA 4 and Red Dead Redemption. Excuse me. But because of the bad reception and just the whole controversy behind the GTA trilogy, that didn't happen. But then recently we've been hearing rumors of a Red Dead Redemption remaster or remake, and so it's like, oh, so it lives. It lives. And then we got announced not a remake, not even a remaster, but a port. A port to the Switch and the PS4. Alright, no next gen version. No, it's not on Xbox, although Xbox is backwards compatible. The big loss is no PC version, so the modding community can't even do anything. It's coming to the Switch and PS4. You get it, I guess you get the cool thing with on the Switch. It's you have it portably, and then also on the PS4 you have it on a somewhat modern piece of hardware. This the PS4 kind of needs to just phase out, I feel, but, you know, that's cool, but it's cool and all. The problem is the pricing. $50. $50 for a port of a game from 2010. And I'm just, you know, Red Dead Redemption is a fantastic game. One of the best games of all time, you know. And it's not, people don't really hold it as one of the best games of all time recently, I feel. And that's just because the sequel came out and is better in every single way. So Red Dead Redemption, and this, by the way, is also bundled with Undead Nightmare, the DLC, is like over 10 years old. It's 13 years old. Alright, it's a teenager now. We're re-releasing it on the Switch and PS4, which there's rumors of the Switch, the next Switch coming out next year. So, soon enough, on two consoles that will be kind of, that are kind of on their way out. Let's be real. Getting a re-release, it's just a simple port for $50. You know, and there's a statement by Rockstar that where they say, or Take-Two rather, Rockstar's parent company, that say that this pricing is commercially accurate. So, this is coming from Destructoid. It reads, there's a lot of contention at the moment regarding the re-release of Red Dead Redemption. Some fans are not pleased about Rockstar charging $50 for a PS4 port of a 13-year-old game. But Take-Two CEO doesn't appear to agree with them. Speaking to IGN, Strauss Zelnick has justified the need to charge almost full price for Red Dead Redemption 1 on the previous gen system. In a statement, he said, "It's what we believe is the commercially accurate price for it." He was asked whether the inclusion of the Undead Nightmare DLC was the reason for the $50 price tag. Zelnick responded by saying it was a great standalone game in its own right when it was originally released, so we feel like it's a great bundle for the first time, and certainly a great value for customers. This may or may not answer IGN's question. So, yeah. So first of all, I feel like the pricing is kind of overshadowed. I feel like the most disappointing thing here. It's not a remaster. It's a port coming to a last gen console. Let's be, the PS4 is a last gen console, and it's still getting supported, but it's a last gen console. It's coming to a last gen console, and I want to say like half last gen, half current gen. That's also kind of on its way out. That's the more disappointing thing, personally. But charging $50 for it? Here's the thing, though. When he says it's commercially accurate, when you think about how people who want to buy this game, they're going to buy it. So when you think about that, he's not wrong. People are going to buy this game, and Rockstar knows that, and they take advantage of that. They kind of just think, you know, people buy it anyways, so we can charge as much as we want for it. And they do. And people, you know, get all mad, but then they buy it. So if you guys don't want companies to price their games this high, maybe don't buy it for this much, you know. Maybe don't buy an Xbox 360 game for fucking $50. How much is Red Dead Redemption on? Like, how much is it on Amazon right now? Like, new. Red Dead Redemption 1. The new one's gonna come up a lot, but alright, so you get the Xbox 360, Xbox One version, the Game of the Year edition for $22. You know, get the PS3 version for $20. That's the Game of the Year edition. You get the just standard edition for $18. So, yeah, I mean, you can get it like way cheaper for the Xbox. You can get it way cheaper for Xbox, and like that works on the Series X. I guess, like, you know, for PlayStation players, it's stuck on the PS3, and the PS3 is not backwards compatible. Or the PS4 and 5 are not backwards compatible with the PS3. You know what I mean? So I guess you get that, but it's just $50. And once, like I said, Rockstar knows that you'll buy it for $50 if you really want it. So that's the frustrating thing, you know. It happens. They do that a lot, but, you know, you gotta vote with your wallets if you don't want to see this type of practice continue. But, you know, I'm not gonna say, because Red Dead Redemption is a great game, and it does deserve to be around and be playable now, you know. At least with, like, the PS4, you know, it comes out, and on the PS4, you can play it on the PS5. So, yeah. Alright, we're going to move on to, I'm going to talk about this new game that everybody's playing. And, you know, obviously that's a little bit of hyperbole, but honestly, seeing just how successful this game is, shockingly, it's really not that much hyperbole. I'm talking about Baldur's Gate 3. A game that was not really on my radar. It was sort of a game that was just coming out, and I'm like, alright, cool, you know, maybe I'll play it when it goes on sale, but, you know, whatever. It's not my kind of game. I don't know much about Dungeons and Dragons, which, you know, I feel like all these Dungeons and Dragons media, you know, it's always like, you know, you don't need to be into Dungeons and Dragons in order to play this or watch this if it's like the movie, but it's also like, you know, the type of RPG Baldur's Gate isn't like my kind of game, but it is going crazy right now. Okay, like, according to Mary Station, why did I choose this? I've never heard of this. According to it's USA Today. Okay, never mind. Baldur's Gate 3 has reached the top 10 most played games in the history of Steam. And it's surpassed. It has a higher review score than Tears of the Kingdom, making it the highest Metacritic reviewed game of the year. I think it's within the top 15 best reviewed games on Metacritic just of all time. And yeah, this is I'm reading from USA Today. It seemed impossible that anyone would be able to top The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, and it's 96 on Metacritic, but Larian Studios managed to do so. Baldur's Gate 3 is a resounding success both in review scores and sales, something that also translates into the number of players who are currently enjoying the third installment of one of the most popular franchises of all time. I don't know if it's one of the most popular franchises of all time. I feel like, you know, if I tell my mom about Zelda, she'll know what that is. I don't know if she'll know what Baldur's Gate is, but As we write these lines, Baldur's Gate 3 has more than 500,000 people who are playing on PC through Steam, but if we look at the maximum number of concurrent users it has achieved, the figures are scary. Nothing more and nothing less than 814,666. The last three digits are 666 people at a time. These numbers have allowed it to position itself as the 9th most played video game on the platform. So let's take a look at the top 10. Alright, this is the 9th most... we're not going to look at the top 10, but this is the 9th most played game on the platform. Alright, beating out Duck Duck Goose, which sounds funny, beat out Duck Duck Goose was pretty big, 700,000 people, and Baldur's Gate 3 beat it by a lot, and I think it's still going. That's the thing. It might get higher, you know. After Baldur's Gate 3, it's Hogwarts Legacy, and then New World, and then Elden Ring, and then Cyberpunk, then Dota 2, then Lost Ark, then CSGO, and then PUBG. Or as it's now known as PUBG Battlegrounds, which would translate to Player Unknown's Battlegrounds. So stupid that they're calling it that. But, and I think I could totally see Baldur's Gate 3 maybe actually surpassing Hogwarts Legacy. Maybe even New World, because New World was a thing with Amazon and all that. No one actually really liked New World, but so and then the article ends with, if you are playing Baldur's Gate 3, do you know that there is an okay, whatever, just giving a little fun fact, whatever. So yeah, and this is shocking. I'm gonna be honest, I'm kind of surprised that Baldur's Gate 3, like, I knew, like, it definitely seemed like the kind of game that would review well. And it definitely seemed, you know, it definitely seemed like the kind of game that would review well. It definitely seemed like the kind of game that PC gamers would really love. But, I didn't think it would review higher than Tears of the Kingdom, you know. I'm not saying, like, I haven't played the game yet, and I'll get to whether or not I am going to play it in a bit. I'm not saying that it's not going to be better, or it isn't better than Tears of the Kingdom. I didn't think it would review higher than Tears of the Kingdom. To be fair, Tears of the Kingdom has, like, way more reviews on Metacritic than Baldur's Gate does. But that might change when the PS5 version comes out. But yeah, I did not expect it to surpass Tears of the Kingdom. I certainly did not expect it to be in the top 10 most played Steam games of all time. And I don't know why that is, really. Because Baldur's Gate is, like, it's not, like, an incredibly niche series. But like I said, you don't, like, my mom doesn't know what Baldur's Gate is. To be fair, if I listed her most of those games on the top 10, I don't think she would know what they are, but the thing is, I don't, like, I've heard some people say, like, you know, oh, maybe just because this is a fully finished, you know, no microtransactions, no bugs and glitches or anything like that, but, like, that is really cool, and more games should be like that. But let's be real, there are a lot of games that release finished, you know? We like to joke about how no games are released finished nowadays. But there are games that get released and they are finished. But what is it about Baldur's Gate? Because it's also, like, you know, I feel like this type of RPG is not for everybody. And I can't tell you what it's about. Is it a Dungeons and Dragons thing? Because Dungeons and Dragons has only gotten more popular since the last Baldur's Gate game. I actually can't tell you what it is. You know? By the way, not going to look up this article or anything, but there was an article that said that developers are worried that this now sets a new standard for RPGs. What, an RPG being good? Maybe have them finished and all that, you know what I mean? But, yeah, I don't know what it is that, like, why Baldur's... This was a shock to me. And it also has become, like, I think the most or the second most pre-ordered game on the PS5. On like, the PlayStation Store on the PS5. You know, a little disappointed that there's not going to be a physical version of the game. At least not yet. Who knows? Maybe we'll get one down the line. But, you know what? I coughed up. I pre-ordered it. I'm getting Baldur's Gate 3. And I'm excited. You know, I don't see myself finishing the game, at least not like in a timely manner. And I'm not going to try, so I probably won't do a review. I'll have to make a video, you know, though, because everyone's playing this game. It's easy views, but you know, but I want to play this game now. You know, a game, and I didn't think I would want to play it because it's just not my kind of game. This game is like kind of unappealing to me. It's just dungeon crawlers. You know, it's a dungeon crawler, and those just, I don't know. They never really clicked with me, but there's something about this game is clicking with everybody. So maybe it'll click with me. But that's my thoughts on Baldur's Gate 3 being a massive success. Moving on to Barbie. We go from a shocking massive success game to a shocking massive success movie. Barbie, I reviewed it. I gave it a 7.5 out of 10, which I think is a bit low. I feel like an 8. You know, I don't think it's perfect, by the way. I just want to say, you know, people are calling it perfect. You know, I don't like what they did with Ken in the second half, and I thought every time Will Ferrell showed up, the movie kind of slowed down or whatever. But, you know, the movie's great. The movie's really good. It's better than any... I can't fucking speak. It's better than a movie about Barbie has any right being. And it's been smashing box office records, even recently surpassing $1 billion at the box office. Who knew that Barbie would be a $1 billion film? To be honest, I'm not gonna... there's no record of this, but my friend Slash, if he's watching, I did say this to him once. I mentioned, what if Barbie... I can see maybe Barbie making $1 billion. I didn't think much of it, but Slash, if you're watching and if you remember, you can confirm that for me. But yeah, so this is coming to us from Axios Media Trends. Barbie makes history as film surpasses $1 billion in the box office. So Barbie has earned more than $1 billion in worldwide box office sales, according to Comscore. Why it matters? This represents an extraordinary milestone for the Greta Gerwig-directed Warner Bros. Film just 17 days after its release. It's the first film solely directed by a woman to ever cross $1 billion in the global box office sales, which is pretty big. So props to Greta Gerwig. And there have been other movies directed by women that made $1 billion, but like they were usually like co-directed with like a man. You know what I mean? This is the only movie that is just directed by a woman to make $1 billion. Barbie, which debuted on July 21st, has brought in a total of $459 million in North American ticket sales and another $572 million from theaters overseas. The film continued to attract moviegoers even in its third weekend in theaters, generating $53 million domestically and $74 million overseas. No movie in Warner Bros.' 100-year history has sold so many tickets so fast. Warner Bros. President of Domestic Distribution Jeff Goldstein told the New York Times, and it's it just gives a link to I guess I'll fucking these stupid ads. I'm not okay. No, fuck that. I'm not doing that. Those ads were bad. But yeah, he gives a whole statement about it. For the record, the previous highest-grossing film by a woman director was held by Chinese director Jia Ling. Her 2021 hit Hi Mom grossed $834 million worldwide. Before Barbie, only a handful of sole female directors in the U.S. have come close to the billion-dollar milestone. Most notably, Warner Brothers' 2017 hit Wonder Woman, directed by Patty Jenkins, earned an impressive $821 million globally. So look. All that was kind of just about how Barbie is the first ever movie solely directed by a woman to hit $1 billion, which is big. But I think it became like, I think it's like the like it's one of, if not the biggest Monday box office. Like did better on a Monday than any other movie. Like possibly like one of the best second weekend grosses. This is how I know it's still doing extremely well. The other day, my mom just went to see it, like weeks after it comes out, and and when I went to see Ninja Turtles a few weeks ago, which, by the way, that movie is great and it seems to be doing well for itself. When I went to see Ninja Turtles a few weeks ago, there were still people dressed in pink going to see Barbie. And I think when I go to see Blue Beetle this weekend, I still think I'm going to see a whole bunch of people dressed in pink. So what was it about Barbie that grossed so much, that became so successful? Oh, sorry if you heard that, but maybe it's like a multi-generational thing. You have like little girls who played with Barbies and their moms who played with Barbies when they were kids, and then the grandma who also played with Barbies when she was a kid. You know what I mean? That might be it, or maybe it's just more of a mass appeal. This is just, it's a Barbie movie, so the target demographic is little girls, but the way the trailers were, they kind of marketed it as like, I think what really, like, this is what sold me on the movie, honestly, and this might have sold a lot of other people on it. If you love Barbie, this movie's for you. If you hate Barbie, this movie's for you. That sold me on the movie. Not that I hate Barbie, I don't really have anything against Barbie, but, I'm a dude, so, but, I wouldn't be surprised if that sold other people on this movie. Because Barbie making $1 billion and becoming one of the highest grossing, breaking all types of records for Warner Brothers is something, like, I might have toyed with the idea of this hitting $1 billion. I didn't think it'd go this fast, break all these records in record time. So, it's quite a year we've had. It's movies, games, shows that are doing crazy things that we never thought would happen. So, yeah, that's my thoughts on Barbie and its insane success. So, yeah, moving on to another story that is not as happy, fun, whatever. In fact, this is this went from tragedy to what the fuck is going on. You all remember Lil Tay? You know, it was like, what, 2016, 2017? She went viral because she was a 9-year-old flexing on people about how she owned, like, a mansion and these cars that were, like, fucking rich people cars. And then it turned out it was all just an act, which I don't mean to be the, this kind of guy who knows everything in hindsight, but, like, I always kind of was a little suspicious that it was an act because she's a 9-year-old. You know, no 9-year-olds just are that rich like that, just by themselves, okay? So, yeah, that's what I thought. But then after she got exposed for, being an act, she kind of, like, went away. But then I kept hearing every now and then stories about her and just how she's going through a lot, like going through hell. And it's definitely unnerving. But none of them made major headlines, but until recently, where she was winning a court case because I think her parents had full control over her and all her media, like social media and stuff like that. And then it was announced that she had died. Her and her brother. Which is, like, absolutely shocking. But then some suspicions rose up, like, people said maybe it was a suicide, maybe it was an overdose, maybe it was a car accident, maybe it was a ski accident. Well, there's no reports of an overdose that matched the description of Lil Tay or her brother. Same with car accidents. But then it turned out it was a hoax. She's alive. So I'm reading. So this comes to us from Polygon, who I normally don't like, but I'll use this. On Wednesday, August 9th, a post on the Instagram account of the teenage influencer Lil Tay announced the deaths of her and her half-brother. But fans questioned it, leaving skeptical comments on the post. Lil Tay's internet presence was characterized by stunts and staged controversy, as well as a strained familial relationship. Then Lil Tay told TMZ on Thursday that she wasn't dead, and that her account had been hacked. Fans didn't appear to be that surprised, but the news came as a relief to many. She said, My Instagram account was compromised by a third party and used to spread jarring information and rumors regarding me. The Instagram post alleging Lil Tay's death has since been removed from the account. The details of the story are still developing, but reflect a larger story of a young influencer who seemingly never had complete control over her public identity. Here is the full Lil Tay death hoax controversy explained. Why was there so much confusion around the Instagram post? Is Lil Tay alive? Lil Tay is alive, according to the statement her family gave to TMZ on Thursday. However, the time leading up to her giving this statement was marked by confusion. On Wednesday, her management told Variety that she had died. When outlets, including Insider, reached out to Lil Tay's father for comment, he would not give a comment. Who is Lil Tay? I kind of explained to you. Why is Lil Tay? She was controversial. Okay, it doesn't fucking say anything else, really. Alright, so now we're reading on New York Post. Actually, I think you guys got the gist. There's still a lot of confusion, though. A lot of mystery. A lot of just what the fuck just happened around this. You know what I mean? And basically, I think it's just like that article said about this. I think this just goes to show. I feel like children should not be children under the age of maybe 14 or 15 should not be that famous. You know what? I remember my first ever YouTube video I made when I was 11. 11. Alright? Wasn't even a teenager yet. I wasn't even a year off from being a teenager. I was 11. And I remember being really upset that nobody was watching my videos. Because I was a lot more sensitive and all that. Thank God. If I go viral now, let's go. If I went viral back then, I don't know if I would have been able to handle it. To be fair, my parents are great, and they wouldn't have taken advantage of my fame, if that were to happen. But what I'm saying is, it's just a story of child stardom. You know what I mean? While Lil Tay wasn't a Hollywood star that, her rise and fall is very easily comparable to a lot of Hollywood child stars. So, and it's really sad that her own parents don't even really care about her, because even if you go back to that one, I think it was Good Morning America interview with Lil Tay, when she was confirmed to be just an act, they asked her mom, what are your thoughts on, they didn't say this word for word, but I remember, because this stuck with me. I remember this, and I thought it was really telling. They asked her, this is kind of paraphrasing, but basically, they asked her, what are your thoughts on everyone on the internet telling your daughter to, fuck off and die, Don't you think that's bad for her? And she just says, we ignore it. Just, Lil Tay has a passion. And I mean, yeah, I think you should definitely, grow to ignore stuff like that. I get comments like that a lot, but I ignore it because who are those people? You guys who watch my content, and, support me, even if you give me constructive criticism, it's you're cool. You're cool. You're not telling me to fuck off and die. But I ignore the people who tell me to fuck off and die. It's different if you're 9, though, and you're on the internet and people are telling you to end your life. You know what I mean? And so, Lil Tay's parents, her mom maybe was oh yeah, we just ignore it, but maybe Lil Tay didn't ignore it, you know what I mean? That type of stuff maybe sticks with you when you're 9 years old. It's different when you're a 20-year-old piece of shit like me. But, you know what I mean? That's what I just think Lil Tay got way too famous way too early on in her life, and she just wants to be a child, you know what I mean? But she's growing up, So, I just hope everything's okay. I just hope she wins her court case and gets ownership over all her shit, and she gets to enjoy the rest of her life, because I mean, when she was famous, she was 9 years old. When was that? That was 2016, right? She was 9 when she was 26 in 2016. It's 2013 now. What? It's 2023 now. So she should be 16 right now. So she's growing up, but I hope she gets to be able to spend her last few years as a kid, just being a kid, Because, yeah, and someone faking your death is... So, yeah, hope everything goes well with Lil Tay. There's some other stuff I want to talk about. Some stuff I had on here, but I didn't really think... So, there's the Kai Cenat situation. If you guys don't know, Kai Cenat kind of just, all of a sudden, one time last year, became the most subscribed to Twitch channel. And, you know, he became a big deal. I think at the Streamer Awards, which is starting to pick up some steam. So good on Cutie Cinderella for that. But at the Streamer Awards this year, I believe he won Best Streamer. He decided to put together a giveaway, like an in-person giveaway of like a PC, a PS5, a whole bunch of stuff. And what happened was over 7,000 people showed up, and riots and looting and all that stuff ensued. And Kai Cenat is now being charged with in starting up a riot, and I think he's actually going to jail for it. Which, that's insane, you know. Can we just like talk about how insane that is for a second? Like, not that I'm not saying I disagree, because he should have known with his audience, the audience he has, he should have known that this was gonna happen. But like, that's insane that like a Twitch streamer of this magnitude, who's been on such a high, is going to prison for basically something connected to the Twitch. Like, he didn't really commit a crime. He did, you know, starting a riot is a crime, but like, he didn't, like, you know, usually you see like the rise and fall of a famous person by like they like break some laws by like robbing stores and shit, or God forbid killing someone. Kai didn't do that. He unintentionally started so it's unfortunate, but like he breaks the silence on here. I think this can be a bit more. He breaks silence. So this comes to us from Yahoo News. Twitch streamer Kai Cenat broke his silence on Wednesday on the chaos and riots at his giveaway event in New York City. Cenat announced on Twitch that he would give away free video game consoles, headphones, and other items to fans on Friday, August 4th at Union Square. Hundreds of fans arrived early for the event, and the crowd rapidly got out of hand before Kai Cenat's arrival. New York Police Department said that the crowd grew to a couple thousand people by 4 p.m. Fans reportedly threw garbage, tore down barricades, blocked traffic, and caused mayhem in the streets that afternoon. Video footage showed them climbing on cars and hitting them with objects. The NYPD called for 1,000 officers to intervene, according to CBS News. Kai Cenat spoke out for the first time since the giveaway in a Twitch live stream titled "First Stream Since New York," saying he was beyond disappointed in anybody who became disruptive that day. "Being from New York, it has been my dream to..." This is a quote from him now, by the way. "Being from New York, it has been my dream to want to give back to the community that made me who I am. I want people to know that none of that was my intention," he said. "I had good intentions for this whole thing. I don't condone any of the things that went on that day." End quote. The incident resulted in 65 arrests, nearly half of which were juveniles, CBS News reported. A few police officers and people in the crowd were also injured at the event. Cenat is facing a felony charge and 2 misdemeanors, including inciting to riot and unlawful assembly. In a press conference that evening, an NYPD officer said the riot speaks to the power of social media and the danger of social media. Cenat is well known for his streaming gameplays, prank and reaction videos. He has over 6.5 million Twitch subscribers and recently broke the record for the most active subscribers after completing a 30-day live stream challenge. Alright, so the rest is kind of just telling you who Cenat is. By the way, I think I did read, when I was trying to find an article for this, I did actually read that someone beat him to the most subscribed Twitch channel. I forget who, because that's not who we're talking about. But congrats to whoever that is. So basically, I think this is a story of, you gotta know your audience, you know. Because I notice whenever big influencers have these big meetups, in-person meetups, it always goes wrong. You know, look at TanaCon. It's probably the most famous example. FuziCon. Remember that when Fuzi put on his big fan get-together, and it was a disaster. And I really do feel for Kai here, because even though I feel like he should have had the foresight to know that this was going to happen, I know he didn't mean to, I don't think he meant to do this, because, like, I'm not too familiar with him. I haven't seen too many of his streams, but from what I've seen, he does seem like a genuine guy. He doesn't seem like a hack. Like, a lot of these big streamers, they seem a bit like a hack. They seem a bit fake sometimes. Something about Cenat, he just seems real. So I have no reason to believe that he's bullshitting when he says that he's disappointed and he's sorry. So it's unfortunate. He's trying to do, you know, even when you read that he's trying to give back to the community that made that, you know, he's trying to give back to his fans and to, like, New York, all for it to just go like this. You know, that definitely sucks. The problem is, once again, he should have the foresight to know his audience, to know how big he is on Twitch, and that this would have happened. Like, that equates, like, his audience on Twitch, he should know that equates to something like this. And, yeah, everyone has already said everything there is. Like, everyone already knows about this. I guess his statement on the matter, I guess, because that article I read said it was like a day old. So the statement on the matter, I guess, is fairly new. I was gonna touch on this as like a briefer topic, but I realized it was a bigger topic. Then I was like, I'll talk about it briefly, like later on in the episode. But no, there's a lot to say about it. But another thing that I don't think I'll have much to say on, THQ Nordic had their presentation, and to be honest, they didn't really have much that was worth talking about. They had this new South Park game, which sounds like, you know, oh, it's just shovelware, whatever. South Park games are really good. Like the Stick of Truth and the Fractured Butthole, which the second one has to be the best name for any game I have ever heard. They got that. They got some other games that I honestly don't really remember were being there. But then they closed with Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles: The Last Ronin. I'm not too familiar with The Last Ronin storyline, but from what I've heard, it's a really solid storyline. And this game's apparently supposed to be like God of War. So I'm interested to see a big Ninja Turtles game be like God of War. There was an article that I had that kind of talked about the game. So this comes to us from Gizmodo. Who knows? Maybe this will be a long topic. Oh, The Last Ronin brings the Ninja Turtles to the world of blockbuster games. Throughout the decades, there have been plenty of video games based on or featuring the Ninja Turtles. While each of them have their own fans, one thing they all share in common is that they exist pretty comfortably in a space for young kids and maybe a nostalgic fan. After all, when the whole property is meant for kids, while also sometimes courting longtime fans, why wouldn't the game stay in that corner? But if there's one thing the last several years have taught us, it's that the Ninja Turtles have a lot of creative range, and that should be taken advantage of more often. Hence, Black Force Games' TMNT The Last Ronin, which was revealed during THQ Nordic's recent showcase. Now, one thing Forest Games are... Let's see their output. It's giving me Sons of the Forest. Or whatever. I heard that the developer is not the best developer, but based on the 2020 miniseries from original TMNT creators Kevin Eastman and Peter Laird, the game stars Michelangelo as the sole survivor of his mutant family. Armed with the weapons of his brothers, Mikey makes his way through a post-apocalyptic New York to finally bring an end to the Foot Clan, who have controlled the city for years. The Last Ronin's game adaptation is intended as a way for the Turtles to break into the AAA gaming leagues, and was first revealed back in March over at Polygon. At the time, Paramount's senior VP for games, Doug Rosen, described the title as a third-person action RPG in the vein of Sony's recent God of War games. And if that weren't AAA enough, it's also said to be aiming for an older audience. Whether that means it'll be M-rated or a hard T for teens remains to be seen, as The Last Ronin won't be out for another couple of years, assuming things go to plan. What is known is that it's expected to be fairly faithful to the source material, which itself is continuing later this year with a sequel comic. So, pretty much, we're getting a pretty beefy game, a pretty beefy TMNT game. I think, it's long overdue that we get like a major AAA studio or major AAA TMNT game. The thing is, though, I feel like THQ Nordic, they almost feel like, I don't know, I have no idea how to explain this. Sometimes they feel like a AA studio putting out AAA games, or they feel like a AAA studio putting out AA games. And that makes no sense. But, they're putting out, they're a AAA studio putting out, let's just say, the Alone in the Dark remake, which I feel like that's a bit more of a AA game. I just stepped on something. So, but I'm interested in this. We won't be seeing it for a while, though. And they did just release it with a CG trailer, so, yeah. One more topic, and yeah. Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl was a game that came out 2 years ago. It was Smash Brothers, but with Nickelodeon characters. Hooray! I was actually really excited, but a lot of people overhyped it to the extreme, to the nth degree. And calling it the Smash Killer. You're given it expectations. But the first trailer they showed, for the sequel. They're coming out with the sequel. The first trailer they showed, I'm like, okay, you're actually you're fixing a lot of the problems I had with the first game. You know, I didn't have much of a problem with the roster of the first game, but like the game didn't look that good. The game looks amazing. They didn't have voice acting at the beginning at the launch of the game. They do here. Color swaps, they got them. You know what I mean? They even have more modes. They have like a single player campaign that's with roguelike elements. My favorite. But hey, they got a single player campaign. That's awesome. But then the leak roster came out. So and I have some oops, sorry about that. I have some issues with it. Now, when they first announced the game, they showed that Squidward and Jimmy Neutron and Donatello and Raphael are all going to be in the game. But, I'm reading Esports Illustrated. Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl 2 leaked new characters. The artwork contained 9 new characters that have not been officially mentioned by developers just yet. By the way, I also forgot to mention Plankton in a mech was also confirmed. But this was before that. New characters include Azula from Avatar: The Last Airbender, Gerald from Hey Arnold, Plankton from SpongeBob, who, like I said, is already officially confirmed, Grandma Gertie from Hey Arnold, Ember from Danny Phantom, Norbert and Daggett from Angry Beavers, El Tigre from El Tigre, The Misadventures of Manny Rivera. That was 7 new characters, not 9. But whatever. Oh, okay, and okay, so there's other characters as well that just aren't there's Donatello from Donatello, Raphael, Jimmy Neutron, Squidward, and maybe Vlad Plasmius. He's gonna be like the big boss of the. He's gonna be the main villain of the game. I hope he's playable because that would be pretty cool. I don't know, this roster. Here's the thing. I feel like they tried to go with like a bunch of weird, outlandish picks that they don't have any. They kind of forgot to do characters that make sense. You know what I mean? Like Squidward, it makes sense. Jimmy Neutron makes sense. The other 2 Ninja Turtles make sense. But like we get to Plankton, and I guess Plankton is a cool addition. But like I feel like you would have to have Mr. Krabs before Plankton. You know, and same with Azula. Azula's a pretty cool addition. But you're putting her in there before Zuko? I don't know, it's just weird to me. And then we get to some, like, the Angry Beavers. I think that's a pretty cool addition. El Tigre, I think that's a pretty cool addition. But the 2 characters from Hey Arnold. We have Arnold's grandma and Gerald. I haven't watched Hey Arnold, so I don't know who Gerald is. I would assume Arnold's friend, though. But we're getting them in there, but not Arnold? Why don't we have Arnold? We have Helga from Hey Arnold in there as well. I don't know if she's in this game or not. But like I don't remember. But she was in the first game. Why do we have all these other Hey Arnold characters and not fucking Arnold? Like, that's so weird. And then Ember from Danny Phantom. Cool, I guess it's cool to see Danny Phantom representation, but they're not going with characters that make sense. Like, they revealed all the characters that make sense already. And then it's just a bunch of, like, why is Arnold's grandma in this game? You know what I mean? And that's just, it seems like, it seems like they've learned their lesson when it comes to the content. This seems to have, like, the opposite problem going in. The The first game, you know, it had all these problems. All the content was missing. It was unfinished, but the roster I thought was pretty solid, with some minor issues. You know, why do we have 2 Ninja Turtles but not all of them? But then here it seems like they're adding a whole bunch of more content, but the roster is kind of dog shit. Just what I think. But yeah, that's my thoughts. And yeah, what do you guys think about Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl 2? Anyways, that'll do it for this episode of DPX Talks for about an hour. This one didn't go as long as the past 2, because I didn't have any big segments, but yeah, thank you so much for watching. If you're on YouTube, go over to my SoundCloud, DPX Talks for about an hour, and my Spotify, DPX Talks for about an hour. Go give me a follow. If you're on either of those, go to the YouTube version of this and subscribe. DPX Solo. I make more videos than just the podcast. The podcast is once a month, with maybe some other stuff, some other episodes going up. So yeah, we'll see you guys in a month, or maybe there might be a different episode I'm planning to do this month that's not news related. Maybe I might do it. We shall see. So yeah, see you guys in the next episode. Take care.